Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. Joe with Mumbling Acres. I had to make a run to Tractor Supply to get grounding rods. My electric fence was not sufficiently grounded, and I needed to get back and get it sufficiently grounded for the pigs figure out that there's no perimeter fence around their area. So, had to go run to Tractor Supply. So, I'm grateful that they are an essential business, because Lord knows I need them or I'd be chasing pigs, and I'm too old to chase pigs. And but I wanted to talk today is there's very much, it's natural in human history and in human psychology to have a very much an us and them mentality. You see this played out in anything that has significant value, whether that be a political value, personal value, aesthetic value. There's always a us for it and them against it. And we naturally, as human beings, kind of group ourselves in that category, us versus them. It's very easy for us, and it allows us to kind of simplify our moral decision making. And the easiest example of this is political, where we know that there are people who know someone is crooked, but they will support them because they represent us. You know, corrupt individuals, we know that there are corrupt politicians. Many of us will still vote for because they represent us. And if they represented them, we would vilify them for those realities. And you see it all the time. And it's basically why people are called hypocrites all the time. But they're at least equal in their hypocrisy. You know, they're not hypocritical in that they are hypocritical. Like, they just don't recognize it. I always find that kind of funny to me. But I really wanted to discuss how this plays out in homesteading, where people have this idea that they are homesteaders and everyone should be homesteaders. Everyone should be. And while I will agree in practicality, or I guess let me reverse that, I will agree in theory that everyone should produce their own food. Everyone should produce the bulk of the things with which they need. Everyone should. But if you're being a homesteader is because you think all of them need to be us, I would say you're misguided. For one, and no one's going to become a homesteader just because you want them to be a homesteader. Before, if you're a homesteader, before you decided to be a homesteader, there were a lot of factors that came in place for that decision. I guarantee you none of them were because Billy Bob was doing it and Billy Bob wanted you to do it, so therefore, because of your relationship with Billy Bob, you're now a homesteader. And if that is, you're probably a crappy homesteader because you lack the initial drive. Like, you need that drive that says, I'm going to be a homesteader, and I want to be a homesteader because I need these things. I want to do these things. It's not some societal call. And we see this kind of in practicality. Not everyone is, society needs more than just their food producers. We have enabled, part of what has enabled our society has been specialization. We've been able to develop incredible things by people who have been able to focus on other areas, not just production of food. And the reality is that as we produce food, the earth produces in plenty. Meaning not everyone does need to be a food producer. We need to get away from the idea that one person, one institution is producing food. That is bad. And we see that in institutional agriculture and the negativities that are associated with it, the damage that it's doing to the earth, the damage that it's doing to us as people because we're eating crap. But that doesn't mean we need to go to the other extreme and say, you know what, everyone should be a farmer. Because I don't believe everyone should be a farmer. We need attorneys. As much as I work in the insurance business, so I work with a number of attorneys. And, there's the Farmers Relief Fund, I can't remember the name of it, Legal Counsel. And they represent farmers, and especially small-scale farmers, as they go through the agricultural hurdles that are put in front of them. That is not something I could figure out how to do to navigate that legal space. I need someone who spends their day committed to learning that space. We talk about people who are very good salespeople. And one of the things I was talking to one of my friends about, and they live about an hour from me. They work at the same corporate job I have. I talked about, hey, you know what? Why don't, you're good at sales, you're good at approaching people. Why don't you go branch out and see what people around you, see if they need things that I produce on my homestead. And you can be the salesperson. I'll give you a percentage. I'll give that to you. That's a positive thing. Not everyone needs to be a farmer. Not everyone has the skill set and talent. We all can produce, and we all should be responsible for a certain level of production of ourselves. But we have to recognize that if we're going to be a homesteader because we believe everyone needs to be a homesteader, in other words, everyone needs to be doing it, it's literally, if everybody's doing it, would you? We want everyone to do it because we're doing it. It's circular. Rather than we want to build a healthy society capable of taking care of itself and getting its needs met. And that is a very, very good thing. Oh wow. Okay. People are running. All these people running, somebody on a bike. It's a crazy world we live in. But, sorry, tangent. But, not everyone needs to be a homesteader. Homesteading can produce enough for everyone if we increase the percentage of people who love working with their hands, get involved, they take it up, they produce, and out of the excess we feed society, and we get back to a society that's based on a local scale. And that's the only way this will work, is local scale. And the only reason the industrial agricultural model is a non-local scale, and it's worked, but at incredible cost, and it will not work long term. We have to get back to a local scale of food production. That is what we need to do. So, let's take a look at these things. Let's get ourselves organized, and let's look at, why do we want to be a homesteader? We want to be a homesteader because we want to have a deeper and intimate connection with our land and our food. We want to be responsible for producing food for ourselves and our community around us. That's homesteading. If we just want everyone to make eggs because the world would be better if everyone made eggs, well, the world won't be any better if everyone makes eggs. It can be, but there's no guarantee in that. And the world will be better if we have a local source of production of food, which is what homesteading is. So, those are my ramblings on my journey back from Tractor Supply with my grounding rods. So, thank y'all. Joe Bumblenakers signing off. Bye.